Check it, yeah. Let me into the conversation. Mastermind, pass the wine, no fire I'm blazing. Past amazing, genius level, never no playing, never no gaming. Listen up to what I'm saying. It's the Trav Hen. Holla, I know you're proud of the way I whip it up, keep it cold. I scream holla. Master P, I see no limits. I'm body. Take it to the majors, don't worry, I got the power.
Today I'm sitting down with the wonderful artist Trav Hen. Trav Hen is a local Cleveland artist that recently released his February EP, Intuitive. His style is beautiful, ranging from poppy and melodic styles to funkier lyricism. I met him in person at a show held by the Midwest Concert Series. We hit it off, I asked him for an interview, and here we are. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man.
Do you want to tell the people a little bit about what you've been up to today?
Oh, yeah, man. I actually just shot a video for Firestarter off of my project that I just dropped. I'm excited for it. It's been a long day. I just wanted to provide people with more, just to kind of give it another life that people could kind of visualize instead of just listening and creating their own visual interpretation of the song.
So, to take you back to the beginning of your work, what music were you brought up listening to?
I was brought up on a lot of hip hop and R&B, but I was mostly in love with R&B. And I grew up on a lot of Motown. My parents were born in the 60s. So with them being born in the 60s, they didn't grow up on hip hop. They grew up on mostly R&B. And so that was like the Motown era was mostly all of the music like my parents, like my mother played when I was in the car with her and things like that. And then I'm the youngest sibling, so my sister is 9 years older than me. One of my brothers is 4 years and the other one is 2. So them listening to all different types of music, like my sister, 90s R&B, 90s hip hop. My brother, still 90s hip hop, but going to the 2000s, like No Limit. My brother was a big No Limit fan, so I grew up on a lot of No Limit. And then, like, basically anything that they listened to, that's what I listened to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever albums they brought home, whatever they mixed CDs they made, that's what I listened to. So it was a lot of hip hop and R&B, ranging from the 60s all the way up until like the 2000s.
Were there any artists you considered especially important within that development?
No Limit was definitely like important as far as like Master P, Silk the Shocker, like everybody a part of that camp because I was connected to them because of my family background of Louisiana and them being from New Orleans and them kind of freely expressing themselves without anyone tampering with their creative control because they own 100% of their music. And seeing them take it to the top, it kind of was like, it felt more real and felt like I could touch them. And it felt like I was more connected to them because of how raw their music was. And of course, artists like Kanye West, like very important artists to me as far as like growing up, because that was the first artist I felt like I could kind of relate to because he was from the inner city, of course, of Chicago. I was from the inner city of Cleveland, but he wasn't rapping about like a more intense life dealing with like violence and drugs. It was more so him being that eye seeing it all happen, but he was more so talking about making it and like overcoming triumphs and how fly he was, you know what I'm saying? So that was
reflection.
Yes, so that was like someone who I can really relate to and who was like very, very important to me growing up. And it's a lot more, but I feel like I'll be here like forever, like but those two for sure are like very like important to me. Even now, I just carry like a lot of their principles as an artist like with me.
So looking at some of your earliest work, the first project I found was Black Boy Thoughts.
Yes.
And the EP takes a look at a wide variety of local and national social issues, including degrading schools, local gun violence, and teachings of white-oriented history. How do you look back on those thoughts shared within the project?
Probably still, like, interpret that time period like that. So like I just feel like super connected to everything I was saying back then. That was like my call to action. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those were the first songs I've ever recorded in life, like in 2016. So it was like I just feel super connected to those lyrics because it was my call to action. I felt like, and it was like how I felt in those moments. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like nowadays I'm more so writing like in the studio or like, you know, around a recording space. I was living in New Jersey at the time, and I was sitting in my room and I was low-key fed up, and I was like, yo, like I can rap, man. I think I can do this. You know what I'm saying? I believed I could, and so I just started writing what I felt and digging deep into my thoughts and getting very like getting very introspective of like how I felt and like what I felt, how I was internalizing everything that was kind of going on in America at the time, like within my community. And then it made me reflect on growing up, where I grew up at, and understanding what that looks like from me reflecting on those times. Because growing up, I didn't look at it like that because I was just living through it. So now that I was, 26 at the time, 27, now I was 26 at the time, I was able to kind of like dive deep. So I just like, I don't know, I feel connected to anything I really put out, you know what I'm saying? But like I look at everything as like a stamp in my legacy, so I may dive deep into it if whatever happens move me to do so. But I feel like on those topics, I've said what I need to say, and that's my stamp and my legacy that says that.
You leave a mark.
Yes, and it still stands, you know what I'm saying? Like, I still feel that way, and I want people to, you know, get that perspective, and that's why I made that. So it's already a stamp in my life, discography. Like I said, everything is about like leaving that mark, leaving that stamp, and my legacy, so people can know what I thought and know what my perspective was like while I was here on this earth.
So to take you to a slightly different orientation, 4 years ago, you made the wonderfully drowsy project, The Love Party.
Yes.
The song Numero Uno looks at you predicting your rise and mastering patience. What portion of that original vision do you feel you've accomplished?
The patience part, and shoot, the rise, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like rising to the top is just, for me, it's just basically progressing, like just living a progressive lifestyle, like, and so just think about, I mean, Numero Uno, 2018 to 2022, my project Intuitive. Man, I've improved so much, and I had so much patience with myself, like during stepping back into those shoes of like making music, because from the Love Party, I recorded that and put it out in 2018, and I didn't, like, literally, I may have hummed a couple times, but from 2018 to 2021, I didn't record anything. Like, I didn't write as much, and through that time, I probably beat myself up a lot. But even if I'm not mentally where I'm at, like in like certain songs, like, because I feel like I write, you know, it's kind of a spiritual guide. Most of the times I'm like sharing my perspective and sharing my thoughts on what I've been through and how I'm processing my feelings and emotions and all of that. And it's blended in with this kind of like affirmative, like manifestation, kind of like fantasy of like where I'm trying to take myself. So jumping into, okay, I have to shoot a music video for this. I have to listen to it a million times while it get mixed and mastered, or while I'm editing it. I have to perform this if, I don't know, I go on tour, or if I have a show, I have to record this. So that means I'm saying these lyrics back to myself a million times, and I believe that words are powerful. So I'm very careful about how I craft like my writing and my storytelling. And so singing and rapping and listening to Numero Uno over and over again over the years and seeing people enjoy it and things like that. When I did step back into making music and going full force with it, it's been more enjoyable, and I've had like this level of patience that I've never had before with, and that came from just allowing the process to be whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? Because even making the Love Party is it set an example for myself, because I had a lot of fun. I just did it by myself. Like I recorded it by myself. And this time I had people with me, but I was able to be patient. I was able to be a student and just allow everything to be what it was. And it's like, yo, like that song alone just kind of like, it exudes everything that I am and believe right now. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, like I said with Project Black Boy Thoughts, man, like even the Love Party, it's still something I can live by. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like it's timeless like that. Like the way I wrote it in my storytelling, like it always resonates where I'm at in life, no matter where I'm at. So, yeah, I hope that answered.
Yeah. And I like that idea you spoke of sort of feeling a sense of artistic spirit. What would you say that normally takes for you? Like, what does that represent to you?
You know how when you are growing up, like your parents or whoever is like the guardianship of like your life or whatever, like whoever your main point of like influence is when it comes to like your household, and they instill these different things in you, and when you go out into the world, you may not do exactly what they say, but their voice is still like lingering in your head. Like, and I'm 32, you know, so still to this day, like things my parents taught me, things my parents have said and instilled in me, like just flow, like it just float around in my head, and I live by it, and I can't help it. It's like their spirit is like in me, you know, guiding me no matter what. Like if certain situations happen, I know, like intuitively, I'm like, this don't feel right. But it might not. It might be my own intuition along with, like, I feel like your parents or whoever raises you and instill things into you, they're building up your intuition. So it's like me probably saying no to going here, no to doing this because of something my dad probably told me when I was like 5 and preached to me my whole childhood. And so that spirit is like guiding me through life. And that's how I feel with music. But it's like the artistic and creativity and all of that pours out when I'm writing. I don't know what that is. So it's a new voice that it's this like confident voice. It's this voice that's literally guiding me to be like this greater version of Travis. Like, and I don't even know. So a lot of the music from intuitive and just that's coming out, period, and just kind of my style now. I go to the studio, the beat is being made, or I have a beat and I write right then and there. I don't like just going into intuitive. Like I didn't write that at home. Like that was like right then and there in the studio, and then I recorded it. So that results in me leaving and listening back to what I said. And sometimes I listen like, yo, who is this? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, who is this guy talking right now? Because I'm not that confident. I don't feel like I'm mentally there yet. And it's like, I look at it as like, yo, this is like a spirit guiding me. You know what I'm saying? And that's when I realized like, oh, like this music thing is like, it's deeper than all this worldly stuff. Like it's really guiding me to like be my higher self, to walk in my potential. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of like how I view that and how that resonates with me, and how like I kind of interpret what artistic like spirit is. Like it's something of the unknown that I tap into whenever I allow my creativity to spill out, like, because it's speaking a language that I didn't even know was in me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm talented, I guess, but I'm really just doing what I know or whatever, like, built me up or whatever poured into me, like, or whatever my teachers was when it comes to music or anything else. But it's second nature. It's not something I try to force, you know? So now that I do it, I'm able to study other artists and stuff like that I feel like can help me push myself forward more as an artist. But like when it comes to writing and when it comes to like seeing the spiritual connection between like just my self creativity and music, it's like, oh snaps, I don't even, it's something profound. So
I think that's really important. And related to that sense of like confidence, one of the things I appreciate most about your work and you, it's your sense of style. You have a great fashion sense, and you take a lot of joy in your personal work, like talking about just listening to your songs back and back again. And where would you say that comes from the most for you?
Just it comes from how I was raised and the people I grew up around, the neighborhood I grew up in. Like everybody was just so like in your face, like confident, like without saying it though. Like especially my family, the family I come from, my mom's side specifically, it's like a lot of women, and even the men in my family on my mom's side, it's like they always dressed, they always spoke highly of themselves, like they always thought they looked good and nobody looked better than them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like my mom, she it's just you kind of see the position, I guess, that they were placed in. So my mom's from Jersey, my dad is from Louisiana, and like me growing up seeing them, I didn't think of this until I became an adult, of course, and was able to like understand things. But you got this East Coast chick from New Jersey in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? You got this country dude from the deep South in Cleveland, and them just marching to the beat of their own drum and not conforming to what's around them. So my mom had a totally different style, like, because the East Coast, like, their style is more flamboyant and in your face. Like, Ohio's kind of conservative, kind of late, well, at the time before the internet, kind of late on fashion trends and all that. My mom is just coming out here with, like, gold rings on her finger, door knockers with her names on the nameplate, you know what I'm saying, herringbone chain, hair did and different, but it wasn't something she talked about. It was just something she did. And so, like, and they just, you know, Travis, don't care what nobody say about you, this and that. Like, those were my parents. Like, don't care about what anybody say about you. You march to the beat of your own drum. You be yourself. Like, all of that talk all of my life, though. And then my siblings, they live like that because of my parents raised them like that. So all of these people are my examples. So it's like, yo, even when, you know, it's hard for even people to know when I was ever insecure in my life, because all my life everybody like, Travis, you so bold, you so confident, you don't care about what nobody say. And so it sucks sometimes because it's like, yo, actually I do. You know, I have feelings. I struggle with the same thing y'all struggle with. I just wear mine differently. So it's still like, you know, when you start understanding your confidence, or understanding that you are confident and gain more confident in things, you start realizing how like you were always confident, you know what I'm saying? And you probably
in you.
It's in you. You can't create it. You can't create confidence. I mean, some people do, and it just don't come off as authentic, or it's looked at as they're acting out or whatever like that. But like me, it's like starting to own that confidence. Shoot, I feel like now I'm really starting to own it, finally. That example just comes from my upbringing. You know, even in my neighborhood, I come from St. Clair. St. Clair is just like, everybody's proud to be from St. Clair. Like, yeah, it may be hood. Like, yeah, it may have been dangerous moments, or violence, whatever anybody want to call it. But I grew up in it, and I grew up around people being confident, and I grew up around people getting dressed every day, and I grew up around people taking pride in their grass, and people taking pride in their kids, and like making sure their kids are being an example of their household. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody walking with their head up high. Like, you can't tell nobody from St. Clair anything, you know? So, like, I went to Glenville High School. You can't tell nobody from Glenville High School anything. We was good at football. We was good at track. Everybody there wanted to dress. Everybody got dressed every day. So, I feel like even in my, insecure moments or low self-esteem moments, like, I still had to get up and put on my best, and I still had to walk with my head up high, and I still had to, speak good of myself and respect other people speaking good of themselves, because that's what was all around me. And I'm not, I'm glad that that's what I wanted to be like, you know what I'm saying? People, don't try to be like nobody else, but it's certain qualities I just wanted to possess, and I'm glad I grew up around that, wanting that, because it pushed me to find that within myself, because it's already in me. So I found it in myself because of like what was all around me. So
to your point about Cleveland being kind of that blend of culture, I think that's a really good one, because that's something I've noticed as I've gotten more into the music scene in the last couple of years, where you have like people that'll take more Southern instrumental influences, and you'll have people that are taking more like East Coast and kind of Midwest influence. And you'll even have people from like LA and stuff kind of bringing in their own style. So I think you end up with a really nice blend of things, even if it's all within like small pockets.
No, for sure. Like I said, in the 90s, like in Cleveland, I'm just speaking of like in Cleveland, like going outside, like everybody was like listening to No Limit, Cash Money. Like, and then 2000s, like late 90s, 2000s, early 2000s, the Houston movement just like took like Cleveland by storm. Like, we loved all of that. We loved Swisher House. We loved Mike Jones. We loved all of the Southern music. We used to ride slanging our doors, like everybody bumping music. Like, I was a teenager, walking down St. Clair, walking down my hood, and it's like everybody is like, when they swing their doors open, they playing music loud because they got door speakers. We outside dancing to it, like, as they ride by. Like, that was the culture, you know what I'm saying? And like, we just appreciated Southern music, because I think it just kind of Cleveland got a unique vibe. Like, we're like kind of I don't know, we're like rowdy, but like we still chill. So I feel like that's Southern music, especially that Houston, like chopped and screw, all of that. Like, it's very like braggadocious, and it's very like up in your face, but the beat and everything is just so chill, just matched the Cleveland vibe perfectly. You know what I'm saying? We just loved all things. We loved the whole Memphis too. Like, when Project Pat dropped, I will never forget when Project Pat dropped Mr. Don't Play. Like, I was in middle school, but it was like, like, we were rapping those lyrics. Like, we loved everything about it. Like, when Jeezy dropped Thug Motivation 101, like, that took the summer of '05 by storm. I remember going into school for the first week, and everybody was rapping, you know what I'm saying, those songs. So I don't know what it is, why we're so attached to like Southern music, but it makes sense, because you think about Bone and just how melodic and like just how melodic they were, and how chill they were, but still had that to them. It's kind of like similar to them. It's like the Midwest is like a melting pot, as you said, of music. And I think we just pull from so many influences, but like, I feel like that was like a background of like how we kind of like really were influenced by like the South and loved their music. So
I think that's an important sense of spirit to take. Like, I remember when I was growing up, I spent a few months on Cedar, And I remember hearing all the classic stuff, but like one in particular that I remember was just hearing Wild Boy, like back when that originally came out, and just hearing it like rocking like the house foundation. Because like I feel like, especially at that time, like people were, you know, coming out with a lot of anger, off of recession, and I feel like those kind of musical eras reflect the times. Yeah, you know,
100%
of those moments.
Yeah, Wild Boy was definitely one of those that like everybody felt. It definitely came knocking through your speakers. Honestly, that's the beauty of music and art, because it really reflects the time period like you're in, and you don't know it until, you know, like you just don't know it until time has passed. You know, even like intuitive, like my goal was like, yo, like, okay, so 2020 I feel like I decided like, yo, like I'm going to do this. I'm going to make music, like, and take it seriously. Yeah. Like, and give 100% until I'm like dead in the grave. Like, I made that decision. Obviously, everybody made these hard decisions like in 2020 when they had to sit down. But I just see the vision, man, of like everybody's just kind of like hopping on and getting onto it with their creativity, man. Like, it's like a Renaissance era. It's so weird. It's like 2020, and then like the Harlem Renaissance hit in 1920. And it's like, wow, we're here again. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's roaring. Like, everybody's just spilling out with creativity right now and trying to express themselves because of the pandemic. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That was the first time in anybody's life like that the whole entire world was sitting down for a month. Yeah. Like, that's insane. I may be, you know, cool with my solitude and able to sit down and dig deep and whatever, but everybody doing that changed a lot, and I don't think people are seeing it. But I wanted to be a part of that. Like, I want to be a part of this renaissance. Like, I want to be...
Carry that fire.
Yeah, like, when people look back, I want them to be like, yo, Trav Hen, like, you know... And
who's coming up?
And those are the words. Yeah. Like, those are the words of the song. Like, let me enter the conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, just, like, got some music that's going to help you get through the times. Like, that's all I'm thinking about is, like, helping people get through these times right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, by expressing myself and expressing my perspective, because these are tough times. Yeah, COVID isn't as intense as it was when we found out about it in, March of 2020. But, like, this world is going through a major change right now. Like, and art is what helped people get through every single time period in history for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let me help. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have no control over what my music do. But I'm going to use this to get me through, and then I'm going to put it out, and hopefully it helps somebody else get through. You know what I'm saying? And it resonate with people, and like throughout history, or 50 years from now, or even 100 years from now, hopefully all of this stuff is still accessible, and somebody just be like, what were they doing in 2021? And then somebody just find Trav Hen randomly on YouTube or a streaming app and click on it, and they like, yo, this music fire. And the next thing you know, you're inspiring a whole wave of artists 100 years from now. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all that's happened with us. Just think about, well, I don't know if you have, but it's so much music that I just randomly came across. Yeah. Since streaming service has been out, I just randomly ran across. Like, who is this artist? Yeah. Oh, this artist came out in 1948. Like, and now I'm listening to it and I'm hooked on it, and now I probably went to the studio with an idea, and now this artist from 1948 is inspiring Trav Hen in 2021. That's how You feel me? That's how music do. That's how art does. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, I think seeing that regeneration of jazz, especially, has been a really interesting one because it's like I think it's been a genre within the last couple decades. It's kind of been on the fringe, but like you're starting to see it like actually, I think, coming out in a way that we haven't seen. Like it's being blended with other genres, you know.
Yes.
Even getting an opportunity to do stuff live. You know? You
Yeah.
get more of a feeling for that. So with Super Friends Creed, you made a song about it in 2018 and a pretty funny video in 2020 about following a code of positivity and focus.
Yes.
So what does that idea represent to you now?
It still stands because Super Friends Creed is me and my friends, my homeboy Swoop. He always called us the Super Friends. Like probably like from 2017, like anybody that was doing dope stuff like within the creative community, they were a part of the Super Friends. And so witnessing everybody go after what they want, create, still go through real life issues, it's just that example of like being resilient. And that's how, like, I can't even say I formed the Super Friends Creed because it literally came naturally just based off of like me understanding where I'm at and what I was going through, but still creating and knowing that's what we all stand for. And that's kind of like how Super Friends Creed came about, because it's like our creed. Like, yo, no matter what, we're going to rise up above our situation and we're going to continue to stay the course. Yeah. And it still rings true today. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I can still listen to these songs, man, be proud of them. Like, even, you know, from Project Black Boy Thoughts to Intuitive, like, the sound quality is just even better, of course. And, you know, a lot of people hate their old work. Like, they don't like the way it sounds. Like, I love it. Like, yeah, probably could have, and maybe one day I will remix and master all of those. But I'm cool with them just being where they are and standing in that space and time, because it always reminds me of where I came from as an artist and like the journey, evolution. But those lyrics and singing those songs, it will always feel present because we still go through things, man, and we still want to overcome them. And it's like, that song is about just like, yo, like, even at the end, it's like, if you with me, love yourself. Like, it's all about self-love, man. Just kind of pouring into yourself and pouring into the people around you, but you can only pour into other people, like, if you pour into yourself first. Like, you can't give love unless you know love, and you know it best when you are familiar with it yourself. Like, and I think that's like, would anything involve, I mean, it's called the Love Party. So, like, yeah, man, Super Friends Creed, that's just, that song will forever be the creed. Forever, man. No matter what level I get on, I feel like that will always be something that I need to hear to keep me grounded. You know, so.
And when you think about appreciating your old work and kind of almost, I think, like, remembering it as a moment in time for you, how do you reflect on the opportunity to be doing more live shows within the last few months, especially?
Man, Midwest Concert Series was my 6th time performing ever. Like, that's it. But I performed 2 times in 2018, and then I performed 1 time in 2020 last year, and so that's what, 18, 19, 20, 20. That's 3 times over the course of 3 years. And I just performed 3 times over the course of 1 month. Like, that is insane, because like, performing is something like I've always wanted to do. Like, since I was like a kid. You know what I'm saying? Like, the first person in life to ever inspire me was Michael Jackson. And like, he is known as one of the greatest performers. And then, you know, growing up, I was not like I like movies, like I would watch movies. There's certain movies I got hooked onto, but as I got in high school and in college and just growing throughout my adulthood, I love watching concert DVDs and shows. So like Beyonce is like one of my favorite artists, but she's one of my favorite performers. So I've watched like almost all of her, concert DVDs. Like I love performing. Like it's something that I just know I can do. I know I was born to do, because when I step up there, can't nobody tell me anything. Yeah. Like when I step up there, can't nobody tell me I'm not good. Can't nobody tell me I can't put on a show. And all of the times I performed, I only had a microphone in my hand. Yeah. Like, I don't jump around, I don't hop around, I don't do nothing like
stage presence.
I have stage presence. I know how to project my voice. I know how to enunciate my words, and I know how to make people feel what I'm saying. But that's because I'm feeling what I'm saying. So, like, I don't care what's happening in this world. Nobody can tell me anything about performing. So being able to perform, like, I'm forever grateful and appreciative of it, because it's like, like, this is something I've dreamed of my whole life. And it will always be something fresh that I feel like I want to do, like, or like it's like a new dream, like just reoccurring, like, I want to perform, like, and I practice, and I practice very hard, you know what I'm saying, like, I'm natural, but I'm really not, like, I just work hard, you know what I'm saying, I study the greats when it comes to performing, you know what I'm saying, like, it's certain techniques and certain things that I understand because of watching my heroes, you know what I'm saying, like, and I apply. So,
and as you speak to coming fully into your 30s, where do you see the future of your career heading?
I see it continuously rising and not stopping, and me being able to have a career of longevity, because we're in a space where hip hop is no longer a young man's sport. Rap is no longer a young man's sport, but that's only because, we're seeing it grow right in front of our eyes. It's still very young. It's in its 50s. And seeing, like, I know it's wild. So seeing people not stop, like Jay-Z, Kanye, all of these artists, like, and seeing them still tour, seeing them still put out albums, people used to be scared to, you just thought your dreams of making music was over if it didn't happen by the time you were 30. Shoot, by the time you were in your late 20s.
That's it.
But it's people who just continuously raise the bar only because they're alive and they didn't stop. So it was like when Jay-Z popped out at 26 with his debut albums, like, Jay-Z came out with album at 26, like, I still got time, I still have time. And now he's in his 50s and he's still putting out albums, he's still touring, he's still very present. We hope, because you can see women are allowed now to get pregnant, to have families, to be married, like that. You couldn't do that back in the day. You couldn't even do that in the 2000s. If you had a baby, people looking at you like you're over with. If you were in a relationship, people were like, no, we want you to give off the single image and the sexy image and this and that, or telling women like, you're not sexy anymore because you had kids, or because you're in your 40. And here we are, everybody's breaking down boundaries and breaking down barriers and, like, crushing rules and creating new ones. So, sure, you go see Trav Hen just out here until he's about good as dead. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be at my funeral.
Play your own music.
With a mic. I'm gonna just put a mic in my hand, while I'm in the casket, because this is gonna happen forever. Like, I don't see me stopping making music. I don't see me not even getting to a point. Like, it's going to be crazy. Like, the whole world is going to know my name. You know what I'm saying? But it's going to be different than anybody has ever seen. It's going to be so real and authentic, and it's not going to be like this character. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be this real human being expressing themselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to open up the door for so many people to express themselves. And I'm not just talking about music artists or whatever, like, no, like, those little kids, those little boys and girls are going to be in their room and they're going to know how to express themselves.
Yeah.
And that's going to take off all of that, you know what I'm saying, weight on their shoulders and coming down on them mentally. Like, no, they're going to express themselves and they're going to know how to articulate their feelings and talk to people about it or write about it or whatever. Like, because outside of music, I journal every day. I talk to my friends every day about what I'm feeling or what they are feeling, and we're getting to the bottom of it, to the root of it. And men didn't always express themselves that way. Me being a black man, I didn't get to express myself the way I do now growing up. So it's just this little kid that's just super happy inside, but finally healing and getting to grow. Like, we stunt our growth so much because of how we're conditioned. So those little kids, that little boy inside of you just stay there because it never got a chance to grow. So now I'm just like, you know, and that's why I'm so much more free and I have confidence or whatever, because that little boy is just growing. It's probably, you know, it's probably 32 now, finally, you know, and that just comes from nurturing yourself and trusting yourself and really just like pouring into yourself. So like, now that I'm in this place, in this space, and of course I have to continuously put that inner work in, but like, like this career is going to be like forever, and I don't even like calling it a career, it's just a lifestyle of mine, you know, as an artist. Like, that's just who I am as a person in every single thing I do. So.
And I think regeneration in hip-hop is a really unique dynamic in comparison to a lot of music genres, because it's like, the 90s strike me as, like you mentioned, a kind of like a real time of despair, in the sense that like once an artist finished, especially with so many younger artists being taken away, you have, I think, so much of a like harsher mentality about music. So I think having that opportunity, even in recent years, just with COVID, to like finally reflect on what it means to really like leave a legacy, what it means to be more open about emotions, has been really good in a lot of ways.
Because I don't know, like just thoughts alone. Not even getting to the depression part. Like, just thoughts alone are just a lot. Like, they're just flowing through your head, and, like, we're never talking about them. Like, or we don't catch them quick enough. Or we dwell on the negative ones. And it's like, yo, this is way too much, yo. Like, something has to give, and it was that. It's like, yo, I gotta express myself. I gotta phone a friend. I gotta start journaling. I have to start writing, man. I have to start telling my truth, because like,
more in touch with yourself.
Yeah, because even you can talk to people, and it's just like, yo, you get it, but you low key don't. But music, man, it's the only time you just cannot be interrupted. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody is interrupting you when you writing what you think. And when you're recording it, nobody is like, yo, stop that. Why did you say that on that track? You might get backlash once you put it out. But like, when you right there in the studio, nobody is interrupting you. You get to say whatever you want, and everything sounds okay over a beat. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I said some stuff I say in my songs, just like tweet it. Well, I could tweet them, but like, if I'm just saying it in a conversational kind of way, like, it's like, what you just say? But no, music, I can say whatever I want in that studio. Nobody can stop me. So I just be saying whatever, because I had to, you know, certain things about myself that I had to gain confidence in even talking about in my music. So it's like having that confidence to finally do it, and then just like getting that shit off because nobody's interrupting you. Like, it's just too fire, man. Like, music is just too fire for me to not do it forever. That's how I feel.
I think it's nice that you can share that little piece of yourself that is just internal, because it's like, because even just in terms of thinking about this show, like, I feel like it's a really interesting opportunity or sort of dynamic, because I can talk with an artist and you can tell me like all you could think about in the moment, or even things you may have never really thought about now, but you wouldn't necessarily be able to do it in the same way you would through the music directly. So like, my hope with this series is that I can lead people to that music and find that almost like extra puzzle piece that'll kind of complete it, you know?
Mm-hmm. That's why you're important, man.
That's dope.
Because it's like we all matter, you know what I'm saying? Like all those local artists, I have to find another word to say other than local. But all of us artists around here in Cleveland, man, we matter. Our voices matter. You know what I'm saying? Because even if we are putting out our music and only the people we know are listening to it, like that's 10 people being able to hear a perspective and understand a perspective, and it may shift theirs. You know what I'm saying? So that means we are important too to any movement.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a certain type of like following or hype or whatever, you're overlooked, and it's not fair. But it's not fair. But that's not how people view anything. It's all about popularity. It's all about all these different things. Like you got to be on your way, or you have to be signed, or whatever. And so here you are, really interested in the music scene, not who's popular in the music scene. You're interested in who is in it and what people are contributing to it that hopped on your radar and that you felt was interesting enough to reach out to them and do something with them and get their perspective on their art. And that's dope because it kind of like make us feel seen.
Yeah.
And that's all people want to do is feel seen. It's not about wanting to be recognized. Well, for me, I just speak for myself. It's not about wanting to be recognized by the biggest publication or the biggest radio station or whatever, a celebrity. It's just putting out something and knowing that it's valued and that I'm valued or that I'm interested enough to gain a perspective from. Like, like that's it. Like we're sitting here, and I'm happy to be here. And it's not about the equipment. It's not about what you can do for me. It's not about me being exposed to your following. It's just about like, dang, like I just sat down with someone who is interested in knowing backstories about my art or why I think the way I think or why I do what I do. And that's important. Like, because that's all anybody else is doing. If you removed the money, if you remove the equipment, if you remove the following, like all you have is the art, all you have is the passion, and this is what this is. And I would take this 1,000,000 times over anything else that just want your perspective or want to sit down with you to devalue you or like to belittle you or you just a moving piece in their chess game. Like, well, no, I mean, I could be a moving piece in anybody's chess game. It's cool. But as long as I feel that energy there that's genuine or like I feel that passion there, because it's really not about me. It's just knowing that you are passionate about this.
Yeah.
Like, so it's really not like about me. I'm just happy that I am interesting enough for you to sit down with me or want to, but like it's more so like, yo, he really has a passion for the music scene and that's dope to me. Like, so I don't mind like sitting down with him.
Coming for the show.
Yeah.
So to your point about overlooked artists and creatives, like especially from Cleveland, you know, we'll cut out the word local. Are there some people you'd like to take an opportunity to mention, whether it's friends, artists, creatives, designers, whoever comes to mind?
I mean, because I don't feel like they're overlooked at all because I see them and a lot of people see them.
We can recognize them.
Yeah, man, but
for a more national audience.
I mean, Kipstone, like he produced Intuitive, and he produced a lot of my work that's coming out this year. All while he is killing it himself, being an artist. And he's one of my favorite rappers, and I think he's one of the best rappers.
Yeah.
Like he's like in my top 5.
Sense
like
of spirit
everybody.
Yeah.
Like not local, like nah, like Kipstone is like in my top 5 rappers. Yeah. Then you got Nuke Franklin, man. He's just somebody who's just super passionate and super...
Such a nice guy, too.
Yeah, he's like... He can rap so good. Like, he raps very well. And we've just been working a lot together. You know what I'm saying? Like, even on Firestarter, like, those are some of his vocals in the hook. Like, we're all, me, him, and Kip are harmonizing together. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he's just a dope artist who has vision and has drive. And even, like, his project, Running with Scissors, like, it's so well thought out and so creative. And it's so, like, so many different flows on that project, so many different sounds. It's just like, Nuke is amazing, man. He's somebody who I wanted to work with since Nuketown. And I met him in 2017. We all took this random trip to New York and kicked it. But he was like the first person I feel like in Cleveland I was like, yo, I want to work with Nuke someday. And it's crazy. Now we have like so many songs together. But yeah, Nuke, man, the Monday program, of course, like Corey Grant's like he is just, he's a Jedi. Like he's like Yoda or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like he's somebody who I feel like deserves like all of the flowers and all of the like attention, because he has been shaping this scene for so long, like shaping the creative scene, the music scene, like everything for so long. Me just knowing him from DJing, like that's how I first became aware of him. So he's been DJing for a minute, like rocking parties, like monumental moments in Cleveland, like monumental parties in Cleveland. Like the potluck, like that was like a staple in Cleveland, and he was a part of that. He was a part of Varsity Squad, and then like now see him create the Monday program, and like it's a platform for all artists for the most part. Like on a Monday, I could just be like, "Yo, Corey, where y'all at?" And he'd be like, "Come through." Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a platform for everybody. And he's such a great producer, and he's such a man, like his attention to details and to craft is like so militant, man. Like I have this video from the Midwest Concert Series when he just zoned out and just starts scratching. Like, yo, like he is amazing, bro. I swear to God. I've
never seen that nonsense live. Yo, like watching him just get in that zone, and you just hear that.
Oh my God. Yo.
And then it just goes in.
Nah, like that's amazing. That's hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he just embodies all of that, yo. Like I love that man, like, and everything he provides and everything he gives, like, to us and to like other artists, bro. Like that is amazing. And then of course Walker OG, Stead Lee, like
shout out.
Walker OG, he just dropped a project, man. Like it's we out here, you know what I'm saying? Like you got, I mean, of course Glenn, who do art, you know what I'm saying, who's a painter, man, just an artist all around. Like Glenn's amazing. Like Self Love Club by Shonda, like even though it's, you know, it's an organization, you know, with this main focus on like self-love and mental health, like it's a certain type of creativity she has put into the like the building and like the marketing of just like Self-Love Club. Yo, it's like insane. Like from the event she throw to like the like how specific she is with like her merch drops, and like she just like she dropped a ring with like it's a gold ring and it has like little balls on it, and you can just do like that, and like it's for people who have anxiety.
Stress ring type thing.
Because it's like, you know, some people bite their nails or pick at the side of, you know, but I was like, your mind, you know, and like, that's a certain level of creativity that you just
aim for.
Yeah, and she had, like, she puts it into that. So it's like, man, it's just so many people, man. He's a painter. He just had an exhibit at Mocha. I want to say from November going into January 2nd, and it was called The Pinkish Hue. And oh my, like, the art was amazing, but it was a level of, like, usually you have to go and just kind of like look at the art and kind of like a description of the painter or what they were thinking. But no, like, he had the paintings, and then he had a poem that he wrote to match it, or there were journal entries of his to match it, and then he had a song that matched all that. Like, his mind is crazy. He's another one, man. So, yeah, man, and my homie Jake, so he's a designer, and I'm gonna send you his page because it's called Jake's Creations, and like, yo, like, he's so nice with the sewing machine, and like, I have some pieces from him, and it's so crazy. Like, one piece is like this pink hoodie with like a pink sleeve, and then the third sleeve is blue. And I can put my hand in the pink one or the blue one, and like, it's like, yo, who thinks of that? And then I have this one shirt, it's a button up, but it has like a whole nother shirt. I can't even explain it. His eye and attention to detail is like just so crazy, and he's like very, very educated on fashion. You know what I'm saying? And he actually has a line coming out, and they're going to be original pieces and handmade pieces and hand sewn pieces. I'm not hand sewn, but you know, like original pieces, like from him, designed by him. But I can't think of the name right now, so I don't want to like say the wrong name. But yeah, so yeah, man. I mean, so many people. Finn is an amazing rapper. She's an artist. She's an amazing performer. Man, it's so many people. Like, I can go on and on.
Shout out to Reagan Gray.
Purple
Monkey Circus.
Yo, shout out to Reagan Gray, man, because ever since my first time meeting her was at the Midwest Concert Series.
That's cool.
But the amount of love she showed me and the energy I receive from her anytime I come across her, it's like I've known her forever.
She reached out to me about seeing if I could come to another show, and I was just like, that's amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I went to. Dang, I'm mad. I can't think of the name of the show. It's probably because I've been up since like 5:30 this morning. But
don't worry about it.
Yo, when I tell you, bro, it was like one of the best live shows I've been to, and she was like hosting it, but also like performing, and it was so many different performers. Like, they had a house band, backup singers. It was just insane, man. Like, but yeah, shout out to Reagan Gray.
Shut up. Okay, so looking at that, is there anyone else you want to mention, or do you feel like you've covered your bases for now?
All that I can think of at this moment. Oh, Gates 216. How did I forget Gates? Gates 216. He's a rapper as well. Yeah, he is amazing, and I feel like he tapped into a side that a lot of people need. You know what I'm saying? Like, him being a father and him maneuvering through that, and expressing that, and you know, everybody have a different type of like perspective on how they maneuver through life. So it's like, I don't have kids. He have kids, so it's like his perspective of, you know, what he's going through and family and things like that is a different perspective from mine. It's dope. And he actually got a project coming out soon, and I'm featured on it. So we got like 3 joints together, not on there, but we we're building up our catalog together as well. That's like my brother. So yeah, Gage 216, man. Like, and yeah, man.
It's great. So let the people know where they can follow you, and tell them also, if you can, like what you have coming out that you can announce now.
Okay, so you can find me on all streaming platforms. Trav Hen, Trav space Hen, and then you can find me on all social media platforms at It's Trav Hen, ITSTRAVHEN.
Excellent Twitter.
So yeah, from Twitter to Instagram and TikTok. I need to post on TikTok actually. Yeah, and when the Firestarter video get done, it's all y'all's. Like, look, I'm handing it straight to y'all. I even let y'all know that I'm making a video, so that was a big step for me. I'm dropping a full-length project this summer. And I'm not telling y'all the name yet, but I'm dropping one this summer. It's literally in the process of being mixed and then taking it over to get mastered.
How many songs are you thinking?
Not even thinking. It's going to be 10.
It's going to be 10.
It's going to be 10 songs. Like, oh man, I cannot wait for y'all to hear it. Y'all are going to love it. And you are going to get an exclusive listen, of course, before it drops. You know what I'm saying? So at least you have that to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I already put you on the list. So yeah, man. That's what I have coming up, man. Just continuously working. And I might drop a couple songs before the full-length project, hopefully. Like, that's what I want to do. So yeah.
Great. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.